now, Wolfpack Nation, welcome back for part 2, baby, of our interview here with Camille from our NC State cheerleading team, which we are so excited to have with us today. If you haven't checked out part 1 yet, make sure to do that. As again, we start to really dive into a lot of the background of the NC State cheerleading program in terms of how scholarships work, in terms of how scheduling works, how to even get a part of the crew in the first place. So make sure to check that out if you haven't already, and then come right back here for part 2. But just as a reminder, again, if you haven't already, again, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're notified on all your devices whenever we go live with any new NC State content. And also to give this video a like if you're enjoying it, and also to follow Tuffy Talk Now on Twitter and Instagram. So, Camille, obviously I was saying at the end of part 1 that I wanted to kind of talk a little bit. So take me through, what is the usual schedule in terms of, let's first kind of start off with, what's your weekly schedule like? How do you fit classes, winter practices usually? How's that predominantly work?
So they let us register kind of with all the athletes, so we get to register early, which is a blessing because we are part of athletics. So we get to choose when our classes are, and usually we make sure that our classes are in the morning because we always practice at night and we have lifts later in the day. So most of my classes are from like 10 to like no later than 3. So I go to class, and then we have lifts from 5 to 5:45, and we lift twice a week with our trainer in Reynolds Coliseum, which is the best time ever. And then after that, we go straight to practice from 6 to 9, and we practice for 3 hours, 3 days a week. Right now, our schedule is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And it just kind of changes. Sometimes it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. It changes between semester because our athletic trainer, she's also in school. So it kind of just depends on when her grad classes are. But yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. No, I still remember being a part of the equipment staff that we got to pick our classes early too. But the problem that I got, at least, as once I became like a junior or senior and you started to really take those specific classes, not chemistry 101, that there was only very few options, if maybe only one option. Yeah. So, you kind of started to kind of get your hands tied and be like, I gotta take what I gotta take. I gotta graduate. Yes. It is what it is. So, well, and again, it just blows my mind too, again. So, let me ask you this, Camille, because obviously, again, you put in a lot of time. At least from practice wise, you mentioned 3 days a week, 6 to 9. So, 9 hours right there on top of game time and, preparation outside lifting even as well. Yeah. So why do you do it? Is it really your love of cheerleading? Is it your love of NC State? Let's it's a little sentimental, maybe, I know, but just, want to ask you, it's a lot. Yeah. It's a big commitment for not really getting anything, in terms of money out of pocket. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a deep question, but I like it.
Yeah.
Let me think. I don't know. I've cheered forever, for as long as I can remember. And I feel like it kind of gives back to me in a way because I love it so much. And when I go to practice and I see my teammates and we just have so much fun, and it's kind of like I've been stressed all day with school and just other things with life, but I get to practice, and it's like those 3 hours of practice, just like with my best friends. It's just like, it makes me feel so much better, and it just kind of is like a sense of relief, or just like a pause into real life. And I feel like it just gives back to me in that way. And I obviously enjoy doing it and all the experiences that it's brought me. Like, I feel like it's given back to me because it's brought me people that I never thought that I would meet. And it's brought me opportunities like being on this podcast and just like learning more things about different people. So I feel like it gives back in that way instead of kind of like material things. We do get like equipment and we get gear and stuff, which is amazing. But I think it gives back in other ways too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
What's the hardest part about being a student athlete? Is it just kind of the time commitment we were talking about, or is there, another aspect of it that sometimes it's a struggle?
Or even just applies like directly to cheerleading, because maybe cheerleading kind of deals with something a little bit different than even like a football player maybe necessarily does.
Yeah.
Right.
I think the time commitment is definitely a lot, but I'm kind of used to being busy. I think one of the hardest things about being a student athlete is sort of the mental health aspect of it. And a lot of people don't talk about it. And I've been trying to kind of bring it out there more, I guess. But it's definitely the mental health, and especially in cheerleading, it's such a mental sport. Just everything you do is so mental. And if your mental health's not good, then you're not going to be able to perform your best. And just also cheerleading is kind of, it's looked at in a way where people on the outside kind of analyze you and your body. So I know that myself and a lot of my teammates do struggle with kind of body image and just overall appearance. And I've been working through that a lot. And that kind of hit me really hard when I've got like into collegiate cheerleading, because you're standing in front of billions of people for hours, and their eyes are on you. So it's kind of hard to deal with that if you don't have like strong mental health.
Yeah. Well, absolutely. I mean, and again, too, I mean, it all comes down to, at the end of the day, at least for us, I mean, it's, I'm just saying for myself, at the end of the day, I mean, I look at y'all as like, y'all are the bomb.com. Because again, I mean, for y'all to be there, rain or shine, wind, hail, whatever, like you guys are there no matter what. If it scores 100-0 our way or 0-100 the opponent's way, y'all are there. So, I mean, again, I just, can't, stress enough to anybody that's, it should go way beyond just, the looks or whatever, and just more of, I mean, y'all's commitment is, and also too, how good y'all are at your craft is ridiculous. I mean, because I even say this as well, like, we haven't even talked about, our dance team, but I mean, our dance team is, I mean, they're a really good dance team as well. So, I mean, like, I think which I love, like, at NC State, we are really good at a lot of things. Yep. Like, that's why we really started Tuffy Talk, is because everybody talks about football, men's basketball, but, like, softball's, really picking up. Gymnastics is, competing in the top 20 every single year. Cheerleading is competing for national championships and, groups or teams in general. Yeah. Dance team is up there with one of the best dance teams in the entire country. Like, State fans got lucky. That's all I'm saying. That's all we're trying to do here, is just be like, hey, Wolfpack Nation, again, if we lose a basketball game, don't worry. There's so much good going on within NC State. Like, don't base on one thing. Just relax a little bit.
Yes, so, I love that. I love that you guys recognize that, because that is so true.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Again, it just goes back to, again, I would much rather be a fan of a program that is really good at a lot of things, where basically every single day that I wake up, there is a team competing for NC State that is competing at the top of the ACC and competing in the top 25 in the country. I mean, there's always, for the most part, except for obviously those like that 1 month of dead period in July where there's just no sports at all going on. But if there's a sport going on, we have a team. For the most part, generally, like, even like men's tennis, like, women's tennis has gone to 2 straight Final Fours. It's crazy, and I don't think they get talked about enough. So, so let's talk a little bit about your experiences. So again, I mean, you're a junior/senior, like you were saying. So I know you've been to, many football games, many basketball games, many wrestling, gymnastics, etc. So what would you say some of your favorite moments have been so far? And even too, like, I guess I can even kind of take it even a step back further and maybe ask even kind of a side question of, what have been some of your favorite stadiums you've been to?
Ooh, this makes me excited thinking about it. Okay, so first, my favorite moments, I guess, in Carter Finley would be obviously the Chapel Hill game last year when everybody rushed the field. That was crazy.
Are you in one of the famous Emeka pictures?
I might be in the background.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you're on that side, if you were like underneath the field goal post on the other side. So that's why I was asking.
I don't remember where I was, but I just remember it was crazy.
Okay. Fair enough. Anyway, sorry, keep going.
But definitely that. And obviously the UNC game this year at UNC, that almost gave me a heart attack, but that was crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a blessing to be there for that.
Cool.
And then maybe, I guess, travel games. Boston College was crazy because their fans are mean and they were yelling at us and they took our flag and they peed on it and they ripped it. And it was crazy, but it was a funny experience.
What?
Yeah.
Last year?
Yeah.
Well,
like last year?
Yeah, when we played them. I remember seeing the picture of it in the stands.
Yeah.
I didn't know all that happened.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Bro.
So
Jeez.
they had to get us a new flag.
Wow.
I don't know if they did or not, but I think that they did. But that was a really
I hope so.
experience, yeah. And then, don't get me started on the bowl game last year. That
Oh.
that was okay. That was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Truly, it was a very sad experience, but being in that stadium with no one in there and just getting to take pictures and do our pyramids and stuff, like that was amazing. That stadium was top tier. Like it was beautiful.
So where were y'all when you got the announcement that the game was canceled?
We were getting ready in our hotel rooms, and our hotel was right beside the stadium. So my friend, she saw on Twitter something about it being canceled. Like that's what she saw it on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, this is a joke. No way. And so we were all in our hotel rooms, like together, like wondering. So we call our coach and he didn't even know yet because it just had happened. And y'all know stuff goes up social media in like 5 seconds.
Oh yeah.
So he was like, what? And so we look out our window and all like the media people at the stadium and stuff are like turning in their badges and there's like tons of people just standing outside the stadium. And we're like, is this real life? It was crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow. And obviously it's that was a crazy moment to say the least. It'll be remembered forever. Let's put it that way. That will be remembered within NC State's minds forever. I mean, just because of the fact that it's not like the, again, knock on wood, it doesn't happen this year for this bowl game, but it's not like we were in Charlotte and the game got canceled.
No.
We were all the way in San Diego, California, on the opposite side of the country, and the game gets canceled. It's like, wow, okay, don't make this easy on us. Yeah. Like, don't even do it like in freaking, freaking Michigan or something like that, at least halfway in the country. Like you're doing it all the way on the West Coast. Like that's ridiculous. But
and UCLA probably just took a bus home.
Exactly.
Yeah. And we're just like, yeah, we're good. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit in terms of like, favorite, like, opponent stadiums. Like, are there any opponent stadium experiences that kind of stand out in your mind? What would you kind of say about them?
I went to the
besides Boston College peeing on the flag.
They were crazy.
Yeah.
I went to the Syracuse away game this year, and I've never been in their stadium before or seen it. And that's the stadium that has like a dome over it, and it was all enclosed. Yeah. It was a really really cool experience because since it's enclosed, you can hear everything, and so. There wasn't like a ton of Wolfpack fans there because it was far away, but the fans that were there, you could hear them so well because it was just enclosed and everything was echoing. And that was a really cool experience to me.
Well, and again, I mean, I always make sure people know like that it really is air for the most part, keeping that bubble up. Like if I remember setting up the locker room that it was always a pain because you can't just open the door and keep it open. Like literally when you open it, there's literally a fan that basically just sucks air into the door. So basically you're like having to like strain just to keep the door open. And then you're going inside and then you have all the wind blowing by you, which is basically keeping the air inside of the dome. It's unique to say the least. So, so have you ever had an experience like that where you like, I mean, you have an entire cheerleading crew and you have like little sliver of fans and you're just like kind of like cheering to like just this little sliver, fans. I mean, I know in-state fans are pretty awesome. So I mean, I know you're, never like, but I'm like, I've always like wondered that, like, especially like for like away teams I've seen where they just have a little bit of sliver. I'm like, I'm sure it's a little bit interesting, for the cheerleading career where you don't have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like at least like, at home you have an entire student section, you have all these fans to work with, but you used to have a little sliver. Like, does that kind of change things at all, or does that kind of go through your head? Before we continue, I want to take a quick second to tell you about our sponsor, Flatlands Jessup Insurance Group, that has your whole world covered, with agents in 5 offices throughout Eastern North Carolina to help you decide how much coverage you need, offering policies for home and auto, recreational vehicles, commercial, crop, health, life, and employee benefits. They are able to combine options to find a comprehensive solution that works for you. Flatlands Jessup protects the things you love so you can spend less time worrying and more time enjoying them. Find them on Facebook and Instagram at Flatlands Jessup. You can also visit their webpage at www.flatlandsjessup.com. So please make sure to go and check them out.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's harder. It just depends on how far the game is and stuff. But
Sure.
the fans that do go, they're like the fans that participate and they cheer with us and they like
That's
pay
awesome.
attention to us. Sometimes when it's like a game that's not as far and people are more focused, like at Chapel Hill, people were so focused on the game that they weren't really as focused on like cheering with us. Some were, but it's like a little bit harder. And our coaches always tells us like, keep going, like keep calling cheers, keep yelling, like they're gonna come, they're gonna help. But it just depends on like what kind of game it is, I guess.
So if you can make one request of the fans or students or whatever, I mean, like does anything come to mind? Or like, can you please like it would help us if you did this. Is there anything that would come to mind? I know I'm putting you on the spot a little bit here, but I mean, just in terms of, even for me, like, is there something that we don't really think about as fans that, really make a big difference for you is what I'm getting at. Like, I'm not necessarily saying call them out. I'm just saying, hey,
call out the fans.
Maybe we don't know something that maybe we should know. So that way it helps you out a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, for games, maybe if you guys like, I don't know. Most people do pretty good at games. Just yell with us. But I would say for us, like personally, we have a show off for our own competition, and we do that before we travel to Daytona, Florida, and it's open to everybody, and it's in Reynolds, and it's every year. But the students don't really know about it. Nobody really knows about it. We try to advertise it, but it's just like no one understands kind of why we're doing it, because no one really understands that we compete for our own like national title. Right. But it'd be kind of cool if more people maybe, showed up for that. Sure.
When does that predominantly? Sorry, I keep saying predominantly today. When does that typically happen? Like what time of the year?
It's usually, so we go to Daytona in early April, so it's usually in like March, early-ish March.
Okay.
So I can let you guys know though if you want to, say something about it.
Yeah, well, definitely let us know so we can definitely help advertise it and definitely go and get videos. Get pictures again. Definitely, it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Give y'all the farewell y'all deserve as you go compete for NC State.
Yes.
It's the least we can do.
Yeah.
So, cool. And so let's kind of wrapping things up here. I definitely can't go without talking a little bit about your YouTube channel side. Okay. So what made you interested in starting a YouTube channel? What made you interested in vlogging? Like where was all the push behind that?
I don't want to sound like everyone where it's like I've always loved creating videos and stuff, but it's kind of true. Like I sort of have. Yeah. And when I was younger, like in middle school, I started my first YouTube channel and it was called Short Styler Sassy. And I know, creative, but I basically did like fashion videos and stuff. And I don't know, I just really liked the concept of being in front of a camera and talking and sharing kind of like my ideas and my skills to other people. And it didn't really pop off in middle school, and I kept trying and I'm still continuing to try, but now it's more of like for fun and kind of to document sort of like my memories. And I don't think I'd ever get to replay those memories. Like I've got so much footage from the UNC game because I snuck my vlog camera. Like I stuck it out while everybody was playing because I was like, this is my last game. I don't care. So I like got up close footage of it and of like me doing stuff right there and the football team like doing their plays right there. And I'm like, that's just crazy. Like I'll get to look back on this when I'm older and show my kids and show like my other family members and stuff, like what I did and like the dreams that I was living. It's so crazy.
Oh, that's awesome.
No,
And just to clarify too,
great.
that it's your last game at UNC. Is that what you meant? Or because you said you were a junior/senior, so do you have one more year?
No, so I'm graduating next December. Technically, I could do another year or another 2 years because I still have eligibility from COVID. But I think it's hard. It was a really hard decision, but I think it is time for me to kind of like slow down and live life outside of cheer. I don't know what I'm going to do or how I'm going to do that, but for some reason, I think it's time.
Yeah. No, to me, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Well, because I mean, especially too, because I mean, that means you're going to be a student, watching the cheerleading. But I mean, again, you get shoot. I'm sure you're probably just gonna, that like that first football game, you're just gonna be like waking up going, I don't know what to do with myself today. Like, like I didn't have to like get up early and like, get my cheerleading uniform on. Like, what am I supposed to do today? Like, this is weird.
It's gonna be so weird. I'm not ready for it. I'm like excited but scared.
I gotcha. I understand.
You can just turn your vlog into a fan vlog now.
Exactly.
Well, just like us. I mean, again, that's what we try to do with our vlogs is, just kind of give, kind of the look for the people that weren't there, at the game or at the event or whatever it was, so it's just kind of a cool way to do it. So definitely make sure to message us whenever you get done with cheerleading, Camille, for sure. We're always open.
Yeah.
So, so, again, what would you say, when you're doing these vlogs, is there any kind of certain things you're trying to focus on in terms of like making sure I get, footage of, the behind the scenes stuff? Like, would you say that you're, because I know you kind of said, right now it's more for fun, really, for anything. But I mean, I took more of it out of like, wow, like, it's cool to see like, how you guys, take the bus, in front of Reynolds Coliseum over to the football stadium, like kind of get, learn how all that works. So, I mean, do you kind of keep that in mind when you do record it, being like, I mean, it's good to kind of show the fans a little bit of, how these things go, like how road trips go, etc.
Yeah, I definitely do. I kind of think like, I try to think of myself when I was younger and I would watch other cheerleaders vlog their game days and other cheerleaders vlog things about their life. And I think back to that and I'm like, what would I want to see if I was in that same position, like wanting to be a collegiate cheerleader? What would I want to know about what they do and who would I want to hear from and things like that? I definitely take that into consideration. And I love when people comment like, I dream of being an NC State cheerleader. Like, you guys are so cool. Awesome. It just makes me so happy. Like, oh, I did too. And now I did it. So you can too.
Yeah. I was watching one earlier today and somebody was commenting on it. Like they're watching from Israel and they were loving it. So, yeah.
I know, that was creepy.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting. Yeah. So again, I mean, that's awesome. And again, it's definitely, I've been trying, because again, I mean, I've actually talked to the communication staff at football and even the head equipment manager for NC State, Terry Callaway Country, because like one of the things which I think needs to be done is like a behind the scenes stuff from the equipment side of like, how things work in terms of preparing for a game day on the road. Like, how does it work, getting there, and, getting set up at the hotel, getting the locker room set up. But there's all this, access needed. And also too, most of the time they're like, we don't want a third party really doing that. We'd rather do that ourselves, which I'm like, well, then do it. Like if you don't want me to do it, then do it. Like, that's all I'm saying. Like, it's a great idea. Yeah, it would be. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, all right, Camille. Well, so we're going to wrap this thing up and we're going to kind of do some spitfire questions. I know we do these from time to time with different athletes, which we wanted to kind of take an opportunity to kind of, learn a little bit about you, have some fun here, and see how these go. So it's going to be kind of a this or that question. So you ready for this, Camille?
Yes.
All right, here we go. All right, so first starting off with some easy ones. Beach or mountains?
Beach.
Okay, yep. Winter or summer?
Summer.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Okay. Favorite fast food?
Oh, I would say, does Chipotle count?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had that argument with
I'll-
people before too. I think so.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I mean-
it doesn't have a drive-through, but you can get like through a Chipotle line quicker than you could get through a McDonald's drive-through. So that's my
Exactly.
argument.
Yeah, and it's really good. I love Chipotle, so I'll 100% take that. All right, pancakes or waffles?
Ooh. Pancakes.
Go out or stay in?
Go out.
Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Favorite cheerleading uniform combo?
Ooh. I would have to say championship black, which is like the all black uniform.
Nice. Yeah, definitely. I mean, anything all black, I think, is going to get most people's votes for sure. No matter what it is, cheerleading, gymnastics, you know, football, whatever, all black will always win.
Yes.
Amedios or players retreat?
Ooh. Amedios.
Nice. Favorite Howling Cow flavor?
Cookie dough.
Hey, nice. All right, beating UNC or beating Clemson?
Beating UNC.
Hey, okay. Favorite NC State cheer?
I'm gonna have to say, pour it on, Big Red, pour it on.
Ooh, okay, yeah. One of those quieter ones. I mean, definitely not one of the easiest ones. So, or the ones that everybody knows that one. But yeah, that's kind of behind the scenes one. Cool. I like it. All right, cool. Well, so again, I mean, that's a little bit of learn a little bit about Camille today. And so again, Camille, first of all, I want to say thank you so much again for joining us. Really do appreciate it. Can you remind the fans once again, how to, and again, we'll have the link to your Instagram in the description below, but just as a reminder in terms of where they can find all of your YouTube content, how they can connect with you. Can you kind of give our fans a little bit of a refresher again for those who don't remember from part one?
Yes. You can go to my Instagram, and that's at ca.camel, like the animal, CAMEL. And you can click the link in my bio to find all of my other social media platforms.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Camille. And again, I do want to say to not only just you, but to all of our NC State cheerleaders once again, that we cannot thank you enough again for all of your commitment, all of your time, all of your blood, sweat, and tears, the mental capacity, committing to, such a big time commitment, and again, really supporting NC State and, being the face of, what should be a lot more common, which is, the positivity, the happiness, the just supporting these guys through and through. Because at the end of the day, I mean, everybody, including the cheerleading staff or the cheerleading crew as well, you're, at the end of the day, you're young adults that, are trying to get education as well, that, are, at the end of the day, doing the best they can to represent NC State to the top of the level. I mean, at the end of the day, to the best of your ability. So, at the end of the day, whether lose or win, got to be behind that and support that 100%. So thank you so much.
Thank you for recognizing us.
Absolutely. Glad to do it. Well, with that being said, again, Wolfpack Nation, if you haven't already, again, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, hit that like button if you enjoy these episodes, and also to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk now on Twitter and Instagram. Thank you all so much. We'll see y'all next time. As always, go Pack, baby.